Friendly warning, this movie is 10 times scarier than Shanzun Sir's movies. It is based on the shocking Thai Miss pageant murder case. And behind this case, there is another very tragic secret case. The horror level is like a banned movie. The main character, Xiao Ting, is an actress. But unlike normal filming, her acting path is very dangerous. Because whenever a murder happens in the city, the police contact her. They ask her to act as the dead body to help solve the case. This includes rape, murder, shootings, and other serious crimes. The cruelty is so extreme that it is shocking, but Xiaoting needs money to survive, so she cannot refuse this work. Although the salary is good, there is some bad luck in it. After all, the person is dead, and she has to act as them. How can the ghost of the dead be peaceful? To avoid being haunted, after every job, Xiaoting kneels at the place where the person died. She lights incense. Most ghosts are understanding. They know Xiaoting is forced to do this for a living. After the incense burns, the ghosts disappear peacefully. Thanks to her lively acting, Xiaoting quickly gained a lot of popularity. Police stations from all over wanted her, but then a shocking murder case happened nationwide, which almost cost her life. News reports showed that the long missing Thai miss, Amei, after 2.5 years, finally had a clue. When the police reached the specified location, the owner there said that at midnight, women's cries for help could always be heard from the room. Hearing this, the police were a bit skeptical. They leaned at the door to listen carefully, and indeed, cries for help were heard from inside. Seeing this, they carefully opened the door to check, but inside there was nothing. Even the cries they heard just before suddenly vanished. But what they saw next was enough to give them a mental shock. There was blood everywhere on the floor. They followed the blood trail to the bathroom, and in the bathtub, they found a dismembered body. The police screamed in fear, but when they turned on the light, there was nothing in the bathtub. Was it a hallucination? But fingerprints left on the bathtub proved that the dead person was indeed Amei. Because of this, the police quickly started an investigation. Finally, they suspected Amei's husband, Awe. When Xiaoting saw this sudden murder in the newspaper, she couldn't hide her smile, because Amei was a big star. If she could act as her dead body, maybe she would become famous instantly. But the case was too cruel. The police worried it would affect Xiaoting, so they decided a female police officer would act instead. Xiaoting felt very disappointed hearing this, but she was not ready to give up. She prayed in front of Amei's photo. If Amei can help me, I will also help her find the killer. Xiaoting knew this was probably impossible. But the next morning, she suddenly got a call from the police. It turned out that last night, after Xiaoting prayed, the female police officer who was using the toilet experienced something very strange. The light at the door suddenly went out. A ghost slowly appeared from behind. The female officer felt something was wrong and turned to look, but there was nothing there. She thought she was seeing things, so she ignored it. Just then, with a loud scream, the female police officer got so scared that she died instantly. Because of this, Xiaoting took her place. Afterwards, to act exactly like Amy, Xiaoting watched Amei's videos and practiced every night. Even though her actions were correct, something still felt off. She thought, if it doesn't work, she'll just give up. Then, Amy's ghost appeared, guiding Xiaoting invisibly. As soon as Xiaoting opened her eyes, she got shocked by what she saw. But the moment she turned, Amy disappeared instantly. Xiaoting realized that Amy was secretly helping her. Now she must not disappoint Amy. Taking advantage of an empty moment, Xiaoting went to the bathtub where Amy had been brutally killed to experience what it felt like to be dismembered. She trembled and crouched down inside. Suddenly, a huge amount of blood erupted from the bathtub. The scene of Amy's murder appeared right in front of her. In the end, Xiaoting's face and neck had long, thin cut marks. Her body couldn't move at all. When she finally regained her senses and tried to leave, she suddenly heard crying behind her. A woman was standing there, shivering uncontrollably, pleading with Xiaoting to save her. Xiaoting bravely went towards her, not noticing that around her were many vengeful spirits of those who died cruelly. As the girl screamed, the spirits came out one by one. Among them was Ami herself. They stretched out countless pale hands and surrounded Xiaoting tightly. The more Xiaoting struggled, the more hysterical they became. Xiaoting got so scared that she suddenly woke up from the bathtub. After a while, she realized that everything she had just dreamed was a warning from Alma. The purpose was to alert her that the real killer was someone else. She immediately called the police to report this, but Lao Wang didn't believe her. He told Xiaoting not to talk nonsense. He said ghosts do not exist, but sometimes it's better to believe that they might exist than to think they don't exist at all. As soon as he said it, Xiaoting nearly lost her life. On the way back to the police station, a ghost hand suddenly appeared, grabbing the steering wheel of Lao Wang's car tightly. Lao Wang got terrified, and a truck was coming straight ahead. Luckily, she reacted in time and avoided being crushed. Only then did Lao Wang realize that the deceased Amy wanted her to help catch the real killer. Otherwise, it could have been her who died. But now the problem was that Amy's suspicion was almost confirmed, and there was no way to fix it. Moreover, during the reconstruction of the scene, Aim herself admitted that she had chopped her wife into pieces. Given this, even if there were doubts in the case, the police could only stop there. But Ame was not willing to accept it. She could not tolerate the murderer of her wife walking free, so she kept haunting Xiaoting every day. Xiaoting went to a witch to get guidance. Suddenly, Amy's spirit came and possessed her. It made her draw a woman named Lisa on paper. This Lisa was actually Amy's best friend when she was alive. Even though they were very close, why did Amy draw her? There must be some secret behind it. That night, Xiaoting went to Lisa's house. After learning more, she finally realized that Lisa was the one who killed Amy. Even though they were friends, Lisa was extremely jealous of Amy. Amy was a famous star, while Lisa was just a cosmetic doctor. The huge difference between them caused Lisa a big mental gap. Also, after Amy became a star, she had no time for Lisa except work and family. Loneliness and emptiness felt like sharp knives, constantly hurting Lisa's heart, so Lisa decided now or never. First, she drugged Amy to knock her out, then cut her into pieces. Finally, she used Oz lighter to blame Amy for everything. When Xiaoting arrived there, Lisa immediately noticed that Xiaoting looked a lot like Amy. Seeing Xiaoting's face reminded Lisa of the past. She still hated Amy deeply. Lisa grabbed a knife to kill Xiaoting. Xiaoting quickly tried to escape, but the door wouldn't open. Luckily, Lao Wang arrived just in time and shot Lisa dead. But Xiaoting, either from shock or fear, sat on the ground completely still. After the case ended, the police finally relaxed. Xiaoting quickly became famous. A horror movie team noticed this opportunity. They thought such a strange story would be a waste if not filmed, so they decided to make it into a movie. But the strange events didn't stop. Within a few days of shooting, the scriptwriter mysteriously died at home. The editor was sucked dry by a black shadow. Even when Xiaoting was going home, she suddenly heard strange noises behind her. She carefully turned around and saw a terrifying ghost figure. Xiaoting got scared and ran quickly, but as soon as she reached home, the sound outside the door vanished instantly. She wondered if it was her imagination. Curiosity made her slowly go back. As she put her face to the peephole, Xiaoting struggled desperately. Then she ran to the balcony. She thought she could escape the ghost this way, but the next second, as the alarm clock rang, Xiaoting woke up from the dream unharmed. It was just a nightmare. She then went to the bathroom to wash her face and wake herself up. But when she looked in the mirror, she saw another terrifying scene. Yes, it was another dream. Xiaoting was scared, breathing heavily and sweating. She thought all of this was Amy haunting her, so she quickly lit 3 incense sticks for Amy. She thought this would keep the ghosts away. But that same night, Xiaoting put on a crown and danced strangely in the noisy crowd. After the camera's flash lit up, Xiaoting finally came to her senses. Looking around, she was completely confused. She wondered, how did I even get here? When she touched the crown on her head, everything became clear. Back when the AIM case had just ended, the horror movie had only just started shooting. By chance, the film crew received a crown. The sender was anonymous, and the return address was unknown. Without thinking much, they put the crown in the studio warehouse. Later one night, Xiaoting, having nothing to do, wandered into the warehouse. There, she accidentally discovered the crown. Just looking at it, she became fascinated. She couldn't help but touch it. She didn't know that this seemingly beautiful crown was actually filled with years of the deceased's anger. From that moment, strange and tragic deaths began one after another among the crew. Xiaoting also experienced many weird events. Now it was clear that all of this was not caused by Aim's ghost, but by another ghost behind the crown. Xiaoting didn't have time to think. She decided to take out the crown immediately and burn it at a temple. As she tried to open the cabinet, in a moment of danger, Xiaoting grabbed a wrench from the ground, broke the glass, took the crown, and ran out. Not long after getting in the car, she saw the ghost again. The ghost held up the crown and placed it on Xiaoting's head. At that instant, Xiaoting's mind was completely controlled by the ghost. The ghost took Xiaoting to an abandoned house 800 miles away. It was then that Xiaoting finally learned the truth. As she suspected, the real culprit behind all this was not Amy, but another ghost. And to her shock, this person was actually her biggest fan. Xiaomei, like Xiaoting, had dreamed of being an actress, but she was plain looking and her acting was average, so she never got a chance. She refused to give up. She contacted an illegal doctor and tried to transform herself to look like Xiao Ting. Watching Xiao Ting's reports, she let the doctor operate on her face, but soon after the surgery began, she suddenly had severe bleeding. Even though the doctor tried desperately, he couldn't save her. Xiao Mei left the world full of anger and resentment. She believed it was all because of Xiao Ting that she suffered such a miserable fate. The illegal doctor dumped her body in the river after her death. Xiao Mei had suffered greatly in life, and even after death, her soul was restless. Over time, a strong, vengeful energy formed where she died, and it entered the crown. Her spirit constantly haunted Xiao Ting day and night. After learning the truth, Xiao Ting felt deep sympathy for Xiao Mei. She immediately contacted the police and had Xiao Mei's body recovered. She thought that everything could finally return to normal. But that night, while doing her makeup, she saw Xiao Mei's ghost again. And that's the end of today's story. See you in the next episode.